Steve Jasper, and I'm the jet lag guy. Welcome to this week's episode of Jet Lag in the News. Let's start with the big story coming out of Japan. Former CEO of whiskey maker Suntory Holdings Limited, Takeshi Niinami, has resigned in disgrace due to jet lag. Specifically, he took jet lag supplements that contained, and I don't want to get censored here, so let's just say the devil's bok choy. He had obtained the supplements on advice, but he was travelling to the United Arab Emirates and India, places with notoriously strict drug laws. Well, another country with strict drug laws is Japan. He had a shipment sent to his address, but he didn't open it. A second shipment was posted to his brother's place, and the police raided the CEO's house. CBD compounds are not first-line treatment for jet lag, and it's not something I would recommend. I recommend drug-free natural treatments at a low or zero cost, such as retimer glasses or just plain sunlight. Stay away from the devil's bok choy when you travel, and remember, jet lag can affect your career in more ways than you can imagine. This is a subject close to my heart because I published an academic paper on Olympic medal counts and jet lag. Researchers were examining data for the Korean Olympic team and last year's Olympic Games in Paris. They found, quote, Team Korea athletes participating in the 2024 Paris Summer Olympic Games exhibited higher incidences of injury and illness than previous Olympic Games statistics. The previous Olympic Games were held in 2021 in Tokyo, so there would have been no jet lag for those games, whereas Paris is quite a few time zones away from South Korea. Out of the States, there's a gender gap in jet lag. Quoting Dr. Anna Targonskaya, travel disrupts menstrual cycles through two main pathways, stress response and circadian rhythm changes. Elevated cortisol interferes with menstrual hormones, causing ovulation delay or inhibition, leading to late or irregular periods. In a study in mice, it was found that female mice had their circadian rhythms more easily disrupted than males, and hormonal changes are to blame for this discrepancy. Research into social jet lag typically experienced by shift workers and type 2 diabetes. A study, quote, established a direct link between high social jet lag and a 45% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Established a direct link between high social jet lag and a 45% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Established a relationship partly mediated by dietary patterns, particularly those high in fruits and vegetables. For your night shift workers, fill out the fruit bowl. But social jet lag and all types of jet lag is known to have a negative impact on blood glucose control and diabetes. Jet lag is much more serious than most people realise. The time of year when many countries in the southern hemisphere spring forward, while many countries in the northern hemisphere fall back. Yes, I'm talking about daylight savings time, or DST. In research coming out of Boston, researchers analysed the average sleep durations across 61 countries to investigate the effect of daylight savings time. And the findings quote, on average, countries that observe DST tend to have better sleep durations compared to those that do not. However, and this is a big however, a more nuanced pattern emerged when accounting for latitude. DST observing countries at lower latitude reported shorter sleep durations than their non-DST counterparts, whereas at higher latitudes, DST observing countries demonstrated longer average sleep durations. These results suggest that the effectiveness of daylight savings time in improving sleep may be moderated by a country's geographical location. So, there you have it. The effectiveness of daylight savings time is actually moderated by latitude. In research that's come out of Texas, scientists have isolated a mechanism by the immune system that's modified by the circadian rhythm. We have known for some time that the immune system, like other bodily systems, is coordinated by the circadian rhythm. The researchers have discovered, quote, an adrenaline-binding protein on T cells that acts as a timekeeper for the cell's infection-fighting function. This research is done in mice, which a lot of circadian rhythm research is done in, and I'm starting to run low on stock footage of mice, so it might be time to select a different animal. There's having a bad flight, then there's having a really bad flight. Back in July, Cherie Young, a New Zealand woman, was on a flight from Sydney to Queensland. Before takeoff, she performed allegedly intoxicated behaviour, including dancing in the aisle. Takeoff is not the time for dancing. She ignored safety instructions like no dancing in the aisle before takeoff, swore at the cabin crew, so the pilot aborted takeoff, and the Australian Federal Police removed her from the flight, very much against her will. She has failed to appear in court in Sydney, and Australian Federal Police Detective Acting Inspector Trevor Robinson said, the alleged behaviour of this woman, in this case, caused a delayed takeoff, which inconveniences everyone on board, potentially ruining the travel plans of hundreds of other people. So, no dancing in the aisles until at least after takeoff. Lastly, still in Australia, Qantas uniforms are getting an upgrade, with designer Rebecca Vallance selecting the next uniform. I'm going to say it out loud here. Who thought that fire engine red and hot pink combined well? Were these previous uniforms designed by Colour Clash International? They might be comfortable, but I think this combo is a bit much. If red is the company's colour, maybe lose the hot pink. Just my opinion, and let's be brutally honest, my opinions on fashion really don't count for much. But what are your thoughts? Um, if you have any questions or want to know more about what I do, check out my website on www.jetlagguy.com.au. There's another book on the way, and you'll be the first to know when it's released. And that's this week's Jet Lag in the News. I'm Steve Jasper, aka the Jet Lag Guy.